and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where yet again, big day, absolutely huge day, so much going on right now at Barca, and we are going to be going through it all here, including massive words from the president, Joan Laporta, who has been speaking on Barca's summer transfer window. On that basis, we have big news on Nico Williams as well, breaking today. New information is emerging, but also, guys, I think it's really important that we talk about this. The defensive side of things too. Can we expect a defensive signing this summer? Is that something that we need? And might one be on the way? It is all coming up for you. Thank you indeed for each and every one of you for being here. Now let's do this. But I would like to start by saying a very big thank you indeed to Javier, who has been a channel member for as long as I can remember, and right here donating on the super thanks. I really appreciate that. It means a lot and helps indeed with the channel. And let's begin, guys, with a quick update here on Ludovit Rice. Now that might sound like a bit of a strange one to bring you here, but we've got money coming in, because you may remember that Ludovit Rice did play, for a brief spell there at Barça Athletic, a 25-year-old midfielder that he is now. He left the club back in 2021, but why I'm telling you all this is because he is about to be sold to Club Bruges for around 7 million euros, plus maybe one in variables there from Hamburg in Germany. Now, what's important here is that Barca do hold a 25% sell-on clause on Ludovit Rice, meaning the club here this summer should have a windfall of about 2 million euros coming in, and as we'll all say right here, we will take whatever we can get. Which is interesting then, guys, because I would also like to talk about Noah Darvich, because actually on Tuesday, he was brilliant in Germany's Under-19 European Championships game. He actually scored there and provided an assist. It was an excellent performance from Noah Darvich, and that got me thinking really about his future at Barca, what it may hold. Because honestly, back in 2023, when we signed this young man at such a young age, there was lots of hype around him, and I was really excited. 2.5 million euros he cost Barca. I was expecting big things, and maybe opportunities just haven't arrived for him. As time has gone on here, it's become really tricky for him at the club, and even last season at Barça Athletic just wasn't happening for him. He actually struggled to get minutes in their team, and that was a team that really struggled last season. So for Noah Darvich at Barca, he hasn't quite been able to make that step up to the first team, and there are rumours right now that we may cash in on him this summer. He may actually be sold from the club. A number of Bundesliga clubs are interested, including Stuttgart, and also maybe Borussia Dortmund. And I'm just interested what you think here on Noah Darvich. Is it time maybe to sell him? Is it time for him to move on from the club? But I do feel like it could be one of those players that maybe further down the line, when he does get more first team opportunities somewhere, we may regret letting him go on the cheap. So let's wait and see how the rest here of his Under-19 European Championship goes. And speaking of attacking midfielders as well, guys, Fermin Lopez has been at the centre of plenty of reports over the past few days here, and there does seem to be quite a bit of interest in Fermin Lopez this summer. We've heard rumours they're linking him to Chelsea, to Bayern Munich, also a number of Saudi clubs as well, and I think maybe clubs out there sense a bit of an opportunity when it comes to Fermin Lopez. We know there's so much competition at Barca. We're even looking this summer, of course, to bolster our attacking options even more, so maybe could Fermin become available? But I've got to say right now, guys, in terms of his own wish, he definitely wants to stay. He worked really hard to make it at Barca, to come through, to actually be part of the first team picture, something that maybe he never expected to come, and now it's here. He wants to grab every opportunity with both hands. And look, that's the way that he plays. Every single time that he's on the field, he's looking to make something happen. He often does make it happen. And I've got to say, guys, I don't see Fermin leaving this summer. I think he can certainly be a very useful player. He can certainly be somebody that helps us. Look at the form that he showed at the end of the season. When he was given a good run in the team, when he was given consistent game time, he was outstanding. Scored some absolutely wonderful goals, some that were given, some that were not given. But I think he's a great player, great potential, great talent, and I do not expect him to leave. Then though, guys, we must move on to the all-important words of Joan Laporta, who did address the media there and spoke on a number of topics on Wednesday evening. And I think the really important thing here to actually start with is his words on the one-for-one rule. Because remember, very recently, Tebas wanted to come out. He was desperate to tell everybody, Barca are not on the one-for-one rule. They are not there yet. Laporta, though, very much disputes those words. He says, we can sign players normally. He said, we are in the one-for-one rule. It has happened. He said they put a lot of obstacles in our way, but we got there. We have a flexible and smooth relationship with La Liga, which is why I believe we'll be able to announce new signings soon. So on Laporta's side, he believes the club are on the one-for-one rule. We can sign players normally. We can act within all of those restrictions, and we can indeed sign players. And this very much continues, really, on the whole Dani Olmo registration thing, whereby La Liga say one thing, La Liga believe one thing, Barca believe another, and of course in Dani Olmo's case, of course, we got him registered. He played the season with us, despite La Liga insisting that wasn't allowed, that wasn't within the rules, but we went to court and we won our case. So La Liga maybe, and Tebas should just quieten down a little bit there, calmer. But Laporta also went on to talk about the summer transfer window. He spoke there about imminent signings arriving. He said we're on the verge of making an imminent signing, and we are also working on another signing who excites us all a lot. And that was interesting there, because remember, this press conference here from Laporta, it was after the club had announced Joan Garcia. So is he talking there about the imminent signing being Joan Garcia, or was that one already done? Maybe because he hasn't been presented? That was one of the people that he was talking about, and Nico Williams, of course, is the other. Or is there another one out there? Is there another signing that maybe we're not aware of yet? Laporta very much leaving that one open to interpretation. But I've got to say, guys, along with everything that Laporta said yesterday, one of the best quotes for me was talking here about his presidency, about his leadership of the club. He openly came out and said, look, we are not perfect. You know, I know that our board has not been perfect, but with us, Barca wins. And I think that is the perfect way, really, to sum up Laporta's presidency. Because, yeah, it's not perfect. You know, who is at the end of the day, especially when you're dealing with a club like Barca, with an institution like La Liga, it's tough. It is never always going to be rosy and sunshine all the time, but we do win. We have won. We will continue to win. And we are building something special with Laporta, with that leadership, and the way that we are now much, much better positioned financially compared to when they came in. The turnaround has been absolutely phenomenal. You cannot take that away from them. But what then about Nico Williams to Barca? Because yes, guys, off the back of those words there from Laporta, which I've got to say are really positive, you know, the club seem to be feeling really good about this, really positive feelings coming from the club and as well from Nico Williams' side, and that also combines with the report that we heard this morning direct from Fabrizio Romano. That was tough to say. Nico Williams and Barca have agreed personal terms on a 6-year deal. Complete agreement there. On the personal terms, he will sign until 2031. Now, Fabrizio went on to say the salary there is in the region of 7 to 8 million euros net per season. Now, that is interesting because that would be a little bit higher than what we're hearing, but what we believe is that Nico will be earning around 6 million net plus bonuses. So that may be where the difference comes from there. I think it is still going to be round about the 12, 13 million euro gross salary per year for Nico. So those wages are still very good, still very manageable for the club. That's still lower than Athletic Club's contract renewal offer. It's still lower than what Bayern, Arsenal would have paid him. He's still making that sacrifice on the wages. And all of these conversations, you know, they have taken place. Barca have been very much in good negotiations, it feels like, with Nico Williams. So much so that we are hearing actually this morning decisions may have already been made on his shirt number at the club. You know, are we that far along in these negotiations here? Because it is being reported that Nico Williams could wear the number 17 shirt at Barca, which I should point out is currently occupied by Marc Casado. Now, he's not going anywhere, let me make that clear. He is staying at the club, but he may move to number 14 in the event that Pablo Torre leaves the club this summer. So it's possible right now that Nico could take the number 17. And what we're going to see now, quite interestingly, from Nico apparently, is a bit of pressure put on his club. He is actually going to try and force Athletic Club's hand a little bit, just to say, okay, is there any way we can negotiate? Not in terms of bringing that release clause down, not in terms of accepting less money, but is there any way on the payment terms that Athletic could be a little bit more flexible? Nico is going to go to them, put that pressure on, and see if they budge. But I think the really important thing today, guys, is what we're hearing in the media is that even if that pressure from Nico doesn't work, which, to be honest, I don't expect it to. We've spoken before, I expect Athletic to be very stubborn. That's the way they do business. It's the release clause, or it's nothing. It's go home, go away, leave us alone. So I don't expect them to move too much on that. But even if they don't, Barca can pay it. It is not an issue. If they have to pay it now, if they have to pay it in full, with no instalments, Barca are very, very confident. As you heard from Laporta, as you hear from inside of the club, they know they can do this. They know it can be done. And I believe it will be done. However, guys, we still have very important topics still to discuss in today's video, because quite honestly, I've seen a lot of comments, and I do go through the comments and I appreciate absolutely all of them, and a lot of people do seem to be saying, Barca fans here, should we be focusing, though, more on defence? You know, we love Nico. We're really excited, of course, about the potential of signing Nico Williams. It will make our team infinitely stronger. But at the same time, you know, looking at last season, we didn't struggle to score goals. We didn't struggle going forward there as an attacking outfit. Should we be looking at where we did struggle, which was defensively? Now, admittedly, we signed a goalkeeper, and a very good one, which gives me a lot of confidence. That will certainly help us there and improve us defensively, but is there still more work to be done, particularly in the full-back areas? That seemed to be where our season fell apart. You know, when you had injuries to Balde, when you had injuries to Koundé, that was where the squad was really, really thin. So should we be doing more to address those areas in the squad? Well, let me talk to you then about Vanderson, because this is a name that has certainly exploded in the media over the past 24 hours here. We are hearing a lot of links now, again, between Barca and AS Monaco's Vanderson. Now, let me just explain on this as well. It's not just a random link. You know, sometimes you hear players being linked with Barca and you think, okay, but that's not actually going to happen. We're not really interested in him. But in this case, this is a player that genuinely we have been tracking now for season upon season. The club really do like him. They've been heavily scouting him for quite some time now, and it did seem inevitable that at some stage we would make an official bid for him. Now, could that happen in this summer transfer window? Because, yeah, right now, Nico Williams, he's the priority for us. He is the next deal that we are looking to complete, but then after that, Barca would love to sign a fullback. They really would. It's going to depend on the finances. It's going to depend there on fair play and what Javier Tebas wakes up one morning and decides that we can do. But Vanderson would be an excellent signing at right back, and he is the player the club are looking at right now. He's 23 years old. He's really impressed during his time at Monaco. He's also now become Brazil's starting right back, and he's still pretty young as well. He's still improving on that right side. Now, what we expect right now is that Monaco would demand around 30 million euros for his signature. Now, what I'm wondering in this deal here, especially with Monaco, is there any way that discussions on Vanderson could happen during the discussions about Ansu Fati? You know, is there any way here the two clubs could maybe help each other out? You know, Monaco want Ansu. They may not want to pay, you know, too much for him. They may not want to pay all of the wages, something like that. Well, Barca, could they use some of that desperation to their advantage there when negotiating for Vanderson? So I just think here, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. It's definitely something that after Nico is done, which we hope, you know, won't be too far away, Barca will then be looking at a fullback. But the question that I really want to ask you, I think it's very, very important here. If you could choose to strengthen one side of our defence, which would it be? Would you go for a right back, or would you go for a left back? If you could only sign one fullback, which side, in your opinion, needs strengthening more? Because personally, guys, I still think I'd have to say the left. You know, I like Vanderson. I think he's an excellent player, could be a brilliant player for us. But I still look at the left side and it's not strong enough. There is not enough depth there beyond Balde. You know, if he gets injured, you are still going to be panicking. You are still going to be struggling in that area. So for me, that is still something that needs to be addressed and needs to be done. But let me know what you think in the comments down below here today, guys, on everything that we have discussed in today's video. Of course there's going to be more coming up. Of course there's so much happening right here at Barca. I'm working overtime, but I am loving it. Absolutely loving every single minute of it spent right here with you guys. So thank you indeed for watching and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Vejka, El Barça.